Hello guys, it's Max here from Daily Market Movements, and in front of me we have the gold over the US dollar chart. Now, as you can see, Monday, the first trading session of the week, we have seen some downside movement once again here in the gold markets, currently trading down at 1687. Let me just fix that. There we go. So this is an area where I do expect to see some sort of support. As you can see, we saw lots of noise here back in May 2020. That was after March's slump that occurred in the gold markets. Also, I believe that we will soon get a bounce due to the fact the RSI are telling us that we're oversold in the short run. So it makes sense. We're at the bottom of this holding pattern that we've been trading in all the way since our all-time high back in August of 2069. That was a peak, but that was we achieved that back in August 2020. So we've just been trading in this this bullish flag, or this this downtrend now for the last 4 to 5 months. So it's been very, very, very slow. There hasn't been too much movement at all here in the gold markets, and the bulls have been extremely patient. But I do anticipate for a bounce very, very soon. We have the stimulus deal, which is in the finest, it's in the final stages of being approved and then sent off to Joe Biden to sign off. Of course, that's worth $1.9 trillion, which will then mean a lot of printing of US dollars. Is it priced in? Yep, it probably is priced in. That's why we are trading just below all-time highs here in the gold market. But the reason that we're seeing so much the reason that we're seeing so much downside movement here in the gold markets is simple. We are seeing the economy bounce back, but the big risk is lots of traders are anticipating for an economic boom. People are going to be going to restaurants more than ever. People are going to be going on holidays more than ever. But if this disappoints, then do look to the gold markets to rally. I think that gold markets should be trading higher than where they are currently trading. But I think one reason why we're not seeing the gold markets trade as high as they should be, and that's probably because of Bitcoin. A lot of money that would have normally flown and been invested into gold has actually gone elsewhere and invested into likes of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has kind of become a safe haven. So, it could be that Bitcoin will decline along with gold, or you may see Bitcoin perform a lot better than gold in the medium term. But that all being said, I do anticipate for a bounce here in the gold markets. It needs to happen. The RSIs are oversold, so I don't think there's too much more downside movement in the short term. Look for that bounce back up towards 1715, potentially even 1800. As I mentioned last week, we've got that bearish crossover with a 50 and the 200-day EMA, with the 50-day EMA piercing below the 200. So that kind of forecasts for a medium to longer term more downside movement. So that's exactly what may occur here in the gold markets. It could be in a few months' time we will be trading down at 1600, or perhaps in a month's time. I think it all just depends on this this holding pattern. I think if we go forward, if I just drag it forward, there we go, a few months, there we go. I think come April time, perhaps May, we will be trading as low as 1600. So short term, I'm bullish because I am anticipating a bounce. Medium to longer term, I am still bullish because the fundamentals are still very, very good for gold. We're still trading in a low interest rate environment. And, as I mentioned a few videos ago, back in 2008 and 2009, financial crisis, gold didn't actually hit its all-time high until 2011, which of course was 3 years after. And that was because all the stimulus aid that the Fed offered and the US government. And, we've seen triple that amount, probably more this time round. So, I am kind of surprised that gold isn't trading at all-time highs, but as I just mentioned, it could be because of Bitcoin that we are not. But, medium to long term, I can't ignore the technical pattern. The technicals are, showing signals for a lower movement, so I cannot ignore that. So my medium to long term, although I am still bullish, I am starting to realize now that the gold markets may be heading lower instead of higher. But the short term, that's what I'm trading it as a day trader. I am looking for a bounce in the gold markets around this 1700 area and to trade back up towards 1750 and 1800. you.